Hello, Pride of Portchester. Today I want to talk to you more about how to understand the rhythm write-in examples that I've been posting on the Google Classroom site. This is just one way to think of how to accomplish writing in the subdivisions for any rhythm when it comes to 16th note subdivisions. Remember, 1E enda, 2E enda, and so on. So with this method, if you'd like to try it this way, each of these 5 notes up here gets a certain amount of the 16th note subdivision. For example, the 16th note, 1 16th note would just get 1 subdivision. Doesn't have to be number 1, it could be E, it could be and, or it could be An 8th note would get 2 16th note subdivisions. In this case it's 1E, doesn't have to be 1E, it could be E and, it could be and it could be 2. As long as it's getting 2. Dotted 8th note would get 3 16th note subdivisions, in this case 1E and. In the quarter notes case, you would always get 4 16th note subdivisions, 1E and or it could be E and 2, or and 2E. And for a dotted quarter note, it would always get 6 16th note subdivisions. So if you want to apply that down here, all you have to use is this chart. So for the quarter note, we're starting at the beginning of a 4/4 measure. So this would get 1, it starts on 1, E and In this case, we're not leaving out any subdivision. We're going to write the 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and for the entire measure. Okay, we're not skipping anything. This is an 8th note. How many should it get? 2. So that'll be 2E. This is also an 8th note, so it gets 2 more. But it's not going to be 2E. We already used 2E. It has to be the next 2. 2E and Remember, the and goes directly underneath because that's where it begins. This is the body of the note. Okay? So this note begins on 2, the body is E, and it ends on and, because the end of this note is the beginning of this note. Moving on to a dotted 8th note, it gets 3 16th note subdivisions. This will be 3 E and, that's your 3. What comes next? A 16th note that's only going to get 1. It's not going to be number 1. It's going to be 3E and only write 1 under there because it's a 16th note. For these 16th notes over here, once again, they all get 1. 1 subdivision, meaning 4. This one will get E. The next thing has to start on and, but how many does it get? It's an 8th note, so it gets 2. And So I'm going to circle the attack of each. And that's your rhythm. If you want, you can erase the body for each note, or the sustain. Now you have your rhythm. If you were to do this with rests, it would be the same situation. If I turn that quarter note into a quarter note rest, it's the same thing. If I turn this dotted 8th note into a dotted 8th note rest, it's the same thing. Okay? So see if you can use this method to complete your homework assignments. Let me know if you have any questions.